assist in counter.
Catch it. Record it.
Two black folks, black women, settled into their seats on a WestJet flight headed to Canada, I believe they said. And they noticed their neighbor was typing furiously with huge text. And, people are nosy. She viewed over and noticed that she was sending an email about her, the black lady that was sitting next to her. So she asked her sister who was sitting in the aisle seat to hurry up, quick record. Let's see what this lady is saying about us. And the message continued. Watch more.
Take the seatbelt sign off. Oh my God. If they don't take the seatbelt sign off. No. Don't even try to record her face yet. Wait till she get up.
Window seat lady took about 15, the video was very long. I had to go through this entire thing. Took about 15 minutes to type, to delete, to replace, to copy, cut, paste, fix errors, grammatical, spelling errors. She took a very long time, went back and forth. Let me let you guys know what she said. I'm sure many of you guys missed it because the message continued. Let's go to this first graphic here. Screenshots from this. She says, I'm looking out the window. Other two seats are taken by two very large, dolled up black ladies. One of whom is extremely hostile. Next one, you guys. One of whom is extremely hostile. I'm being very pleasant just to annoy her. Now, this is one of the edits. She jumped back up and decided to add one more piece of useful information. After the hostile line, she goes, she makes Serena Williams look like Twiggy. Then she said, I'm being very pleasant just to annoy her. For some reason, thinking that being pleasant to black folks would annoy them. I guess that goes into your thought process. But more, she continued on. She goes, if I need to use the washroom, I'm going to pretend I'm really crippled and ask a steward to help me, as it continues on to the last one, find another seat. So she's gonna pretend that she's this old, decrepit lady who can't move, and she's stuck between these two very hostile, angry, large black women. They're dolled up though, so at least they look good. But she went through this whole thing and called them hostile. Well, Miss Crizzy is the woman that was posted this, and her sister filmed it, and she decided to go ahead and point out what happened from the point that she got and met this lady, and some reason why she then was emailing that she was hostile. Think about that line as you watch what she explains.
We got on the plane, packed our bags where they're supposed to go, sat down. When we sat down, this lady was already there, and she kind of gave like a sarcastic kind of hi. So I was like, yeah, that's typical. So I was like, hi. And then I'm preparing for takeoff now. The flight attendants, they came around checking and whatever, and the flight attendant said to the lady, can you please put your bag under the seat in preparation for takeoff? So she's like, I'm sorry, I can't hear you. So all I did was like point to her bag and say, the flight attendant wants you to put your bag under the seat for takeoff. Well, she's like, oh, thank you. She even thanked me for telling her. Thought she was a nice old lady. Yeah, right. My eyes don't miss anything. And her font on her phone was so big. My sister ended up recording it for me because I couldn't hold the phone where it wouldn't be so obvious for her to see.
And lastly, what I think is the sad part about this, Rick, is she looked over her shoulder, saw the messages, and then she still posted another video. Miss Crizzy did here, because I think it sticks with folks sometimes. And she had to point out, I'm not a large woman in the first place, so she posted a video of her dancing, and then she had to point out how she's not that. But it sucks that you have to try and prove that now when you know this a-hole lady sitting next to you typing emails, talking this trash, because she reiterated what the flight attendant told her to do because she said she couldn't hear her. That's the hostility. This is the type of approaches that people have towards certain folks in their daily lives. And these assumptions are made, which then leads to reactions, interactions, even to the point of saying, I'm gonna get up and talk to a steward and tell them that I'm crippled and I need somewhere else to sit. And if that escalates, then it goes to, well, they're being hostile. We see how this grows from the thought inside your head to then you communicating those same things to other folks. And generally, why would you not believe the old white lady? What's your thoughts on this, Rick?
So as we were going through the story and watching the video that is troubling, I remember seeing a TikTok from a user by the name of V Lone Files. And they took a video at last year's US Open tennis in Flushing in Queens. And they saw an older white gentleman who had his phone out in his hand and the text was very, very large. And it read, after Serena Williams' loss, quote, actually, this is funny, all the black people are leaving now. And then in a separate TikTok, this person wrote, only white people left here. I get it. As we get older, you have problems with your eyesight. But to conduct yourself this way and have this worldview is troubling. I don't know what's gonna happen with this person. I would assume that if the dolled up folks next to them wanna take any punishment against this person, they could write to the airline. They have the seat number, they have the aisle number. And that could potentially be a way of doing this. I'm not saying they're going to, I'm saying they potentially could, but beyond troubling.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't
terrible.
I wouldn't even, at least from my perspective, I'm not the one in the situation, so who am I to say? But she's writing her email to her, whoever, family member, friend or something. And she can be as piece of garbage type of person as she wants with her friends. It's just once you get exposed, you may be a little bit embarrassed about your thought process.
Of course.
It's one of those few opportunities where you get a chance to have some self-reflection, understand the way you think and approach situations. I don't think much will change. I don't think she needs to be punished, kicked off of flights, not allowed to fly anymore. She didn't do anything outwardly to anyone. But it's good to know that, first off, black folks know the type of things that are thought and said about us behind our back. So she wasn't surprised by it. Miss Chrissy wasn't. She just wanted to point out, this is what I'm seeing. It's pretty crazy out there. One more Twitch, one comment on here I want to point out from this particular story. Viscountess Silva says, the poor situational awareness of that lady. This is what I was thinking too. Why point the screen at the people you're talking about when you could point it towards the window? She's not thinking about them. They're not smart enough to even look over and understand what I'm doing and saying. It's such a low level of expectation from any other human there that you don't even understand that they're there outside of the fact that they're hostile and that they're large and they're dolled up. And I can't believe they're taking up all this room, which again is nonsense.